Same kind of hybrid creature. It's sort of this cross between, I think, as like a dog and a deer and a bull. Lots of very kind of animal aspects about this work. The goal was to build this, whereas the previous one was made of steel, foam, and bondo, very industrial materials. This one is made the opposite, where it's driftwood, it's bark, it's fungi and sticks and tree branches. Oddly enough, most of the branches, the wood, everything that's on it came from my land that's around the Saluda River. A lot of the larger chunks of the driftwood I pulled directly from the river. I grew up on the river, so I have especially now, a very strong personal relationship with the Saluda River. So this piece is built from natural materials, all from the land I grew up on and the Saluda River itself. So there's something, I think, very poetic about how this was taken from the river and turned into this, and then the river came and took it back in a way.
Oh, that's interesting, kind of returning back to its origin. So, just like the other piece we looked at, it's not fully intact or fully original. So, as an artist, how did you come to terms with that?
Well, I think, again, I'm kind of fortunate in that my process and chosen materials are usually pretty robust. Metal and wood can stand up to a lot, and I often will build a piece and maybe it's not complete, and I'll store it outside so that the weather and nature intentionally creates a bit of change over time. So to me, I've sort of embraced that idea that these change over time, and especially this one. And so, I guess the day after the waters finally receded enough to get and view the pieces and assess the damage, it was kind of like, well, that's what it is now. And I kind of just go with the flow when it comes to that. There was a component, it was a road sign that actually came from a road that my great-grandfather built here in South Carolina. And so there was a bit of a tie-in to my sort of personal heritage in relation to where I grew up in this work. That road sign is now gone, presumably in the bottom of the Saluda. Who knows? But so seeing the works here without some of these components, there's again a bit of a poetic gesture there where just parts are gone, and that's evidence of the flood.
And sort of the temporal aspect of existence as well, I feel. Can you talk to us about the ideas, like what about the origins of the ideas of these pieces? Can you share with us a little bit about that and you're constructing and working three-dimensionally and off-the-charts creativity?
Sure, yeah. I think, I'm just primarily influenced by nature and life experience. And I think the more time goes on and technology begins to be a ubiquitous aspect of everyday life, and we're inundated constantly with the exponential growth of technology, I think about our relationship to technology and our relationship to nature as sort of a trinity that's constantly ebbing and flowing. So growing up close to nature the way that I did, I think I gravitate towards these natural materials to try to speak to that it's important to know where you came from. It's important to remember that we are physical beings that exist in a world that nature is an amazing thing. So I try to make amazing things out of nature, or at least draw attention to our relationship to nature. And that's where a lot of my conceptual ideas come from. And the process is very intuitive. I might find a piece of driftwood and just respond to that. I'll just start building things. Some are found objects, some are natural materials. I think about the inherent meaning that we associate with the materials or the objects, and how can I either subvert that meaning, push it towards a different route or exemplify it even more. And then I just combine that with often metal, trained blacksmith and metal fabricator, so that skill set comes into play in this work.
Right. I love that you combine that skill set as well as with nature and all those other elements, and combining some of your history as well. It's a beautiful composite.
Yes.
Carey, can you bring us up to speed with what's going on now for about 4 months? What's going on with you artistically?
I currently am teaching sculpture at the Governor's School for the Arts in downtown Greenville. So that's been a very therapeutic experience in that I told myself, like, I can't make anything right now. I have to focus on rebuilding my home. And so I kind of let my work kind of push that to the side, and I've been really I think letting my students' creativity inspire me, and just responding to their energy of wanting to create things. So that's been really fun. And this show, I think, is really great, and that it showcases, these images of the flood are really impactful. This is the first showing I've had since the flood, so it's really nice to see that there's still some energy there to move these works forward. And please come to the show, and feel free to reach out.
Yes, absolutely. If you're in the local Spartanburg, South Carolina area and surrounding area, you want to make a point of coming to the Displaced exhibit. If you are not local, you can go on the Spartanburg Art Museum website or check out some of their socials, and you'll find out more about the Displaced exhibit. Carey, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.